My name is Michael Knorr, and this is Architecture Minute. This is the third of 3 episodes on iconic architecture. We first talked about the White House, then the United States Capitol, and this episode is about the United States Supreme Court building. And actually, this is my favorite of the 3. The other 2 have been altered and remodeled and added onto over the years to the extent that they've become twisted architecture. But the Supreme Court is a largely intact architectural concept as the original architect originally conceived it. Let's look at it right now. This is the mall in Washington, D.C. As a reference point, the Washington Monument is at the symbolic heart of the mall, located here. In this series of 3 iconic buildings, we first talked about the White House, located north of the Washington Monument. Then we explored the United States Capitol building, dominating the east end of the mall. Those are 2 of the 3 co-equal branches of the U.S. government. The third, the Supreme Court, you might think would be located in a similarly symbolic position on the mall, perhaps here at the west end of the mall to balance out the triad. But that space is occupied by the Lincoln Memorial. Or perhaps at the south side of the mall, but that's where the Jefferson Memorial is built. Instead, the Supreme Court is tucked almost out of sight behind the Capitol, not a prominent location and often missed entirely by tourists. The fact is, the Supreme Court, though co-equal to the other 2 branches of government, was for a long time treated as second class. The court used to actually meet in the Capitol building and did not receive its own building until 1935. It's a latecomer to the mall and to prominence as an iconic building. Here's what I like about the Supreme Court. 1, with its classical vernacular, it actually looks quite a bit like a building that could pass for ancient Greek or Roman, sort of. The columns and pediment have no windows on the surface, unlike many classical revival buildings, like this federal courthouse in Madison, Wisconsin, or this federal office building in Casper, Wyoming. The architects, Cass Gilbert and John Rockhart, cleverly designed a building that is as imposing and attention-grabbing as the White House and Capitol, even though the functions of the court are only serving 9 justices and a staff that pales in comparison to congressional and presidential offices. By the way, I find the clock as the central focal point of this picture kind of funny. Raised on a plinth with a dramatic stairway at the main facade, this building commands attention and respect. And finally, 3, the building cleverly looks bigger than it is, because the architects expanded the size and visual importance of the 2 flanking wings with interior courtyards, in a sense puffing out the size of the building and contributing to its impact. I'll give the White House a grade of B in our 3 iconic buildings, the Capitol building a C-, but the Supreme Court gets an A+ as an iconic building.